The new Premier League season is here now, after what seemed like an unending wait. The forthcoming matches and action-packed games the league will unwrap appear so tantalizing. Just after only 2 league games, we have witnessed teams race and spend big money throughout the transfer season to snag some of the biggest names from around the world to bolster their squads for a league season that already appears very different from previous ones. A few minor rule changes that were introduced could be partially blamed for this unique season. Our video today looks at the 5 new football rules that will quietly change the English Premier League. In order to eliminate the delays that occur when the ball goes out of play, there will now be 10 balls in and around the pitch throughout a Premier League game as of this season. In addition to the 1 ball on the playing field, there will be 2 balls behind each goal line, 2 balls on either side of the touchline, and 1 ball with the 4th official. In a bid to prevent one team from unfairly benefiting over the other, it appears that the ball boys will be directed to instantly throw a new ball onto the field if one goes out of play. It'll be fun to see if the ball boys still follow this rule when the home side has a lead or a point to defend and is attempting to waste time near the end of the game. On January 25, 1995, Cantona shocked the football world by attacking a fan as he exited the field after receiving a red card in a league game against Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace fan Matthew Simmons irritated the player so much as he walked past him that it culminated in one of the most unusual episodes in English football history. It was eventually revealed that the supporter said, "F off back to France, you French mother F," inasmuch as his efforts to literally knock racism out of football was hailed. The sports world would like to abolish the technique he used, thus measures have been set for how the game would proceed following such an incident. The rule now isn't whether his card would have been doubled or not, but rather how you restart the game after something like that. Because there was no foul against an opponent, how does the game resume? According to the new regulation, if a player leaves the field to assault an outsider, the match must be restarted with an indirect free kick to the opposite team. This is the first time a rule catering to a circumstance like that has ever been written, so in some ways, this is a pioneer season. We don't expect anything as chaotic or violent as that this season, but it is a little more comforting to know that it exists. Prior to this season, the goalkeeper had to have at least 1 foot on the goal line when the penalty was played. However, the rule has since been changed to allow goalkeepers to have their feet behind the goal line. As a result, the goalie must now have at least a portion of 1 foot on or behind the goal line when a penalty kick is made. The goalie has the option to stand behind the line to build up momentum before diving skillfully for the ball. The new FIFA and IFAB offside rule basically states that a player who is clearly in an offside position should not become onside every time an opponent moves and touches the ball. This implies that an attacker who was offside cannot suddenly switch to being onside just because the ball touched an opposing defender en route to him. Now the defender must be regarded to have possession of the ball, with the option of passing to a teammate. For example, Kylian Mbappe's goal that helped France win the National League would not have counted under the new regulations. Indeed, it was that goal that sent FIFA and IFAB back to the drawing board to rectify the flaw. And it is because of this fix that Benzema's gold medal in this year's Champions League final versus Liverpool was disallowed. A pass over the top put Karim Benzema in position to score, but he lost control when goalkeeper Alisson moved in. As a result, there was a scramble in the area and the ball rebounded off 2 Liverpool players before falling back at the striker's feet for him to score, but the offside was flagged by the assistant, and after what seemed like an endless VAR review, the call stood. Last season, practically every other league and competition increased the number of substitutes permitted in a single game, but the English Premier League refused to follow suit. This regulation was used in both the English FA Cup and EFL Cup competitions. However, the English teams decided against using it in league games. Today, the Premier League seems to have finally woken up, and had implemented it in the season. At a shareholder meeting of all 20 Premier League clubs in March, top-flight clubs voted in favor of the adjustment to the substitute rule after previously voting against it many times over the previous 2 years. Teams are now authorized to make a maximum of 5 substitutions in a single game, up from the previous maximum of 3. We were treated to a preview of this before the start of the league season during curtain raiser preseason Community Shield game between Manchester City and Liverpool. But did clubs actually deploy all 3 of their substitutes last year? Teams have generally made more substitutes during the past 10 seasons, with an average of 2.8 per game in the most recent campaign. Contrary to expectations, teams recorded an 8-year low of just 2.68 subs per game in 2020 and 2021, a season in which the league permitted 5 substitutes due to the coronavirus outbreak, before going back to 3 at the start of the previous season. Generally, Brentford, Manchester United, and Norwich were the 3 teams that were able to employ all 3 of their permitted substitutions during last season, although Aston Villa, Brighton, Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, and Southampton utilized their bench players significantly as well. For a manager who was a strong advocate for the 5 substitution rules implementation, Pep Guardiola's Manchester City, on the other hand, averaged a league low 2.08 per game. That sums up our video for the day. Which new rule this season are you most looking forward to, and which do you think will have the largest impact on the Premier League? If you enjoyed this video, watch also the next video on your screen, which looks into the lifestyle of French superstar Kylian Mbappé. As always, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more exciting videos.